1:47 a.m. Heavy rain hammered the empty streets of Seattle. The entire city was drowned in fog and darkness, and in the middle of that darkness, a girl was running barefoot down the road. She clutched an old camera tightly against her chest. Her breathing was broken, terrified. She kept looking behind her, like something was chasing her. Then suddenly, the street light behind her shut off. Click, then the second one. Click, then the third. One by one, every light on the road died. Darkness swallowed the entire street. Please, please leave me alone. Her voice trembled. Then the camera screen turned on by itself. The screen showed an empty street. Nothing there. But when she lowered the camera, the road was still empty. The girl froze, slowly. She raised the camera again, and this time, someone was standing directly behind her. A woman, long black hair, a pale, cracked face, and eyes completely black. The girl screamed, but at that exact moment, the camera screen turned blood red, and then silence. Only the sound of rain remained. 3 days later, Oak Valley University, Seattle. Guys, this place sounds seriously haunted. Jason laughed as he tossed an old newspaper onto the table. Around him sat his 4 closest friends, Linda, Mike, Sarah, and Ethan. The 5 of them ran a paranormal investigation channel on YouTube. They explored abandoned places, recorded creepy encounters, and turned them into viral horror content. But this case felt different. Sarah slowly pushed the newspaper towards the others. The headline read, "Missing Girl Found Dead Near Blackwood Town." Below it was the photo of the same girl from the rainy night, Emily Carter. Mike leaned closer. Police found her body outside an abandoned school called Ashwood High. Linda lowered her voice. You know what's weird? Her camera was never found. The room went silent. Then Ethan smirked. Perfect content. Sarah glared at him. That's not funny. Jason opened an old map. Blackwood Town is about 6 hours from here. But there's one problem. Mike frowned. What? Jason's smile faded. The town was abandoned in 2011 after a series of mass suicides. The atmosphere instantly became heavy. People said they heard voices at night, Jason continued. Entire families disappeared. Linda swallowed nervously. And we're actually going there? Jason grinned again. Tomorrow morning. The next day, their van moved slowly along a lonely forest highway. Gray skies stretched endlessly above them. Tall trees surrounded the road on both sides. Their GPS kept losing signal, but the strangest thing was their phones had started glitching the closer they got to Blackwood. Sarah held hers up. The screen kept flashing the same message over and over. Don't look back! Mike laughed nervously. Wow, ghosts can text now? Nobody answered, because at that moment, the van radio exploded with static. Krrrr! Then, a girl's whisper came through the speakers. Turn around! Jason instantly shut the radio off. Silence filled the van. Ethan looked pale. Did all of you hear that too? No one replied. 6:12 p.m. They finally arrived at Blackwood Town. The place looked dead. Broken stores, rusted signs, abandoned cars sitting in the middle of empty streets, and the silence felt unnatural. Even the wind refused to move. Linda stared outside the window. This place feels wrong. Then Mike suddenly stopped walking. Guys! Everyone turned toward him. He was shaking, pointing down the street. At the far end stood a little girl wearing an old white dress, head lowered, and in her hands, an old camera. Emily's camera. Sarah whispered, Oh my God! Jason immediately ran toward her. "Hey, wait!" The others followed, but the second they turned the corner, the girl was gone. Only the camera remained, lying in the middle of the road, wet, broken, old. Jason slowly picked it up with trembling hands. The camera suddenly powered on by itself. The screen flickered violently. Then a video started playing. Emily's recording. She was crying, running through a dark building. The footage shook uncontrollably. "They're not human! They're not human!" Then suddenly, someone appeared behind her. A tall man, his face hidden completely in darkness, but his eyes glowed white. Emily screamed, "Don't let them take your eyes!" The video cut out. Everyone stood frozen. Ethan spoke quietly. "Did she say eyes?" Then a whisper came from directly behind them. "Because they need them." Every muscle in their bodies tightened. Slowly, they turned around, and standing in the middle of the street were nearly 20 people, all wearing old school uniforms, all standing perfectly still, their heads lowered. But the worst part, none of them had eyes, only empty black holes. Linda screamed. At the exact same moment, every one of them lifted their heads together and smiled. Then suddenly, every street light in town turned on, and under every single light, someone was standing there, watching them. Hundreds of people, maybe thousands, all eyeless. And then Jason's camera started recording by itself. One sentence appeared on the screen. "New souls found." Part 2. New souls found. The camera screen glowed red, and suddenly, strange whispers echoed across the entire town. Soft, broken, like thousands of voices speaking together. "Stay with us. Stay with us. Stay with us." Sarah stepped back. "Jason, we need to leave. Right now." But Jason looked frozen. His eyes locked onto the camera. Then suddenly, the screen changed. It wasn't recording anymore. It showed a photograph, a live image of all 5 of them standing in the street. But behind them, something else stood there too. A massive black figure, so tall its head touched the streetlights, its face blurred by darkness. Only 2 glowing white eyes visible. Ethan screamed, "Turn it off!" Jason lowered the camera instantly, but when they turned around, nothing was there. The street was empty again, and one by one, all the eyeless people disappeared, as if they had never existed. Mike's voice shook. "Nope, we're done." Then, an old church bell rang somewhere nearby. "Dog! Dog! Dog!" At the same time, the camera crackled with a distorted voice. "Ashwood School!" Jason looked up slowly. "That's where we need to go." Sarah stared at him in disbelief. "Have you lost your mind? Emily died there." Jason's face turned serious. "And that's where we'll find answers." 9:43 p.m. Ashwood School. The abandoned building stood deep inside the forest, black, rotting, broken windows staring like dead eyes. Strange symbols covered the walls. The air became freezing cold. Linda rubbed her arms nervously. "I feel sick." The main gate stood half open, as if something inside was waiting for them. Jason switched on his flashlight. "Stay close." They stepped inside. The hallway was consumed by darkness. Old children's paintings hung on the walls, but every single drawing had one thing scratched out: the eyes. Sarah whispered, "Who would do this?" Then, footsteps thundered above them. Thump, thump, thump. Everyone froze. Silence followed. Mike forced a laugh. Probably an animal. Suddenly, a classroom door at the end of the hall creaked open by itself. Creak! Inside, someone sat alone, a child, head lowered, holding a piece of chalk. Jason slowly stepped closer. "Hey, kid." The child didn't respond, only continued writing on the board. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Sarah lifted her flashlight toward the blackboard, and her blood ran cold. Written over and over again were the words, "Don't let him see you." Then the child stopped writing. Slowly, he raised his head, and where his eyes should have been, there were only bloody empty sockets. Linda screamed. The classroom door slammed shut. Bang! The lights flickered wildly, and suddenly the child vanished, but his voice echoed throughout the room. "He is waking up! He is waking up! He is waking up!" Then the back wall of the classroom slowly opened, revealing a hidden staircase descending underground. A horrible, rotten smell drifted upward. Mike stepped back immediately. No way! But Jason had already started walking down. The others reluctantly followed. At the bottom of the stairs, they entered a massive underground hall, and what they saw there nearly stopped their hearts. Thousands of old photographs covered every wall, the ceiling, the floor, everywhere, and in every photo, people's eyes were missing. Some photos were from the 1950s, some from the 1980s, some looked recent. Then Sarah suddenly froze. Her face turned pale. On the wall was a fresh photograph of all 5 of them, taken only minutes ago, and in the picture, their eyes were gone too. Linda began crying. "What is this place?" Then an old projector in the center of the room suddenly turned on. A black and white video flickered onto the screen. An old priest stood in front of the camera. His eyes looked insane. "If you are watching this, then he has chosen you," Jason whispered. "Who?" The priest began shaking. "He lives inside the dark. Every 50 years and he wakes up. He sees through stolen eyes. Blackwood was built to feed him." The room temperature dropped sharply. The priest's voice cracked. "We tried to stop him in 1976, but the children opened the gate." Suddenly, eyeless children appeared behind him, and standing among them was the tall black figure. The priest began crying. "He is not a ghost. He is hunger." The video glitched violently. Then the screen displayed only one word. "Look." The hall lights died instantly. Darkness swallowed everything. Then something heavy began walking toward them. Thud, thud, thud. The ground shook beneath their feet. Linda completely broke down. "Oh God! Oh God!" Ethan switched on his flashlight and instantly screamed. At the far end of the hall, something stood in the darkness, 9 feet tall, arms unnaturally long, its body made of black smoke, and covering its face were hundreds of eyes, thousands of stolen eyes, blinking together. The creature slowly tilted its head. Then every single eye turned toward Jason. The camera switched on by itself. Offer accepted. Suddenly, Jason lifted into the air. Sarah screamed. "Jason!" The creature moved closer to him. Inside its countless eyes, Emily's face appeared, crying. "Destroy the camera!" Jason screamed in pain. "The camera is the gate!" Everyone finally understood. The camera wasn't just recording people, it was capturing souls. It was the portal feeding the creature. Mike grabbed the camera, but it stuck to his skin like it was alive. Words flashed across the screen. "Don't leave us! We are still here!" Thousands of screams echoed from inside it. Mike cried out in pain. "Take it!" Sarah smashed the camera against the floor, but it didn't break. The creature moved closer, its eyes glowing brighter, and then Emily's voice echoed through the hall. "Fire!" Jason screamed. "Burn it!" Ethan instantly pulled out his lighter. He grabbed a nearby alcohol can and threw it over the camera. Whoosh! Flames exploded around it. An inhuman scream shook the entire underground hall. The creature twisted violently. Its eyes burst one after another. The photographs caught fire. The trapped souls screamed as they disappeared into the darkness. Jason crashed onto the floor. Run! The 5 of them sprinted upstairs. The entire school shook around them. Walls cracked apart. The creature roared behind them. They burst through the main entrance, and seconds later, Ashwood School collapsed in flames. Boom! 5:16 a.m. Police found their van outside Blackwood Town, but the official report listed only 4 survivors. Jason was missing, never found. Authorities ruled the entire incident an accident. Blackwood Town was sealed forever. 3 months later, Sarah sat alone inside her apartment. She never made paranormal videos again. That night changed her forever. But there was one thing she never told anyone. While escaping the school, Jason's phone had fallen into her bag. She had never turned it on until tonight. Her hands trembled as the phone powered up. The screen flickered. The gallery opened by itself. There was only one final video, recorded 3:03 a.m. Sarah slowly pressed play. The screen was completely dark. Only Jason's heavy breathing could be heard. Then, the camera slowly lifted upward, and Sarah's heart stopped. Jason stood there in darkness, but his eyes were gone. Only empty black holes remained. And behind him, the creature stood smiling. Jason leaned close to the camera and whispered, "Sarah, don't turn around." At that exact moment, the light behind Sarah turned off.